Happy Wednesday!
Happy Wednesday! How are you, Angelica?
I am doing wonderful on this beautiful Wednesday morning here.
Yes.
So, how about yourself?
Middle of the week. I'm excited, just try to bring the energy, making sure that we get through this week because real estate can be ups and downs, and we got to keep our energy going no matter what's happening in real estate. So, with that note, why don't you tell us what's going on in real estate?
Yeah, and you're exactly right. No matter what is going on in our lives, it's always important to be grateful because, when you have a grateful heart, you can actually be happy because every time, no matter what the chaos is that the world is going through, a grateful heart appreciates the present. So
I like that. Well said. That's true.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so for all of our viewers that are watching and are tuning in for what's happening today, Wednesday, please comment below if you would like some of the details that I'm going to go over. These are statistics made by the Greater San Diego Association of Realtors here in San Diego County. For a more detailed look, please comment below. I want these stats. And then I will email them to you.
There you go.
So,
nice.
What we're going to go over today is the housing supply overview of March and 12 months from then. So March 2026 and March 2025. And for this month of April, we'll get that to you for next month's video. So the very first thing I wanted to go over is we have had a price range with $250,000 to $500,000 is the strongest pending in sales. So that price point, we're seeing a lot of homeowners actually getting into the game. And for every single time we have these videos, we always talk about, understand what the rules of the games are, especially in this real estate industry, and then enter it. And what we're seeing right now is that 8.7% increase that just happened last month in March compared to 2025 March from then.
Oh, wow.
So
nice.
That $250,000 to $500,000 range right now, that is the sweet spot. So if you're a first-time home buyer and you do not have access to the VA loan benefit and you're looking to get qualified into an FHA loan, which at minimum you need
3.5%.
3.5% on a $250,000 home is what?
$7,000, $8,500?
$75,000. Let's just say $8,000.
$8,000, yeah.
$8,000. If you have $8,000 in cash right now, you can purchase a property around the $250,000 range, which, again, thinking long-term, we talked about this on Monday's video, is, build equity over time. And it's going to take 5 to 7 years, what we're seeing right now, to actually build $150,000 worth of equity. Take that and put it into your dream home, a single family detached. That's a 20% down for, what did we say last week, for 750,000, right?
Right, yes.
So if you were to buy a house in today's market for $250,000 and you held onto it for 5 years, you could potentially buy a $750,000 home with the 20% down of $150,000, right? Granted, you don't have any debts that you want to pay off or anything like that. This is a strategy for people who are wanting to get into a single family detached home and want to live here in the San Diego market for a very, very long time.
And let me just say, if your strategy right now is, I'm going to wait until I build a $150,000 bank account, that is almost impossible to do. You just can't do that. You cannot. People don't save that much money. It's hard to save money. I've been doing this over 20 years. I've probably interviewed over 5,000 different clients, probably more. And when we sit down and look at their savings and their checking and their retirement accounts, they don't, most 99% of the people don't have money saved up.
And that's so true. I had a client where he invested his money into a CD. And his CD grew over $100,000. In fact, I believe he had about $150,000 over the span of time of investing it into a CD. So you're absolutely right, Ruben. I mean, having to save $150,000 cash is one way, but very, very, very slim chance of actually sticking to it, because human nature, I don't know about you, but we don't have the very best discipline.
No.
Especially when it comes to financial means. And how many years would you have to actually save to get up to $150,000? Now, if you were to put that into a CD or into a higher yield savings account where you're getting a return on investment every year, every month, whatever the case may be, depending on the route that you want to be in, how aggressive you want to be, how high or low is your risk tolerance to lose that money if anything were to happen. You know, that's how you really think financially more intelligent.
Yeah. Well, then let's just take an example, because we live in one of the most expensive places in the country. Inflation and the cost of goods are through the roof, whether it's gas, food, just everything is more expensive. And people's salaries, income, they don't keep up with inflation, right? Inflation goes up 8%. You get a job raise increase of 3%. You're not even keeping up with the costs. So if you're putting away, let's say $500 a month in a savings account with a return of 2%, you're putting $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year, times 5 years, that's only $30,000 plus whatever little return. But if you buy a property, like you were just saying, and you let equity build, you're going to get to that $150,000 way faster by allowing that property to build that equity, right? And that's why investing into real estate is the fastest way for you to build wealth. And it's the fastest step to go from a condo to a single family residence and getting that 20% down, so you can get into a 20% down, no PMI, conventional loan, and have a payment you can afford.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. So home size with the strongest pending sales right now is anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. We have seen an increase of 4.9%. That's about 5% increase for people who are looking in this market for bigger homes. So let's take an example. A family who may perhaps have been renting an apartment that is 1,600 square feet, we're seeing an increase of first-time home buyers who are really looking at properties that are at least 2,001 square feet and 3,000. So that is your threshold right there for first-time home buyers, or even people who are second homeowners. And then we see a property type with strongest pending sales. I'm not surprised to say they're condos and townhomes.
Right.
Condos and townhomes. And you can even see with big time investors right now, you know, these builders, I'm on their newsletters, you know, as their agents, and I'm seeing a lot of new construction homes right now. In Chula Vista, right off of the 805, you'll see right off of Palm where Kaiser Permanente is,
Yep.
they're building right there,
Right
you know,
next
right
to-
off
yeah.
the freeway.
Mhm.
In addition to that, there's still pockets of Chula Vista. You know, for my clientele, I have a really strong focus in South Bay, only because I'm active duty military. A lot of my clients are still going to 32nd Street, Coronado, Point Loma, and a lot of them are flocking into the Chula Vista, East Lake, you know,
Yeah.
South Bay area. And so if you are a 24-year-old, 23-year-old, or you've only been in the service for 90 days, that's as long a minimum that you can qualify to get a VA loan benefit.
Yep. You don't have to be in there for 2-3 years, right? 90 days, and it opens the doors to your VA benefits to start owning a property instead of renting. So it's an easy opportunity if you're serving to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want to shift gears to closed sales. It's very, very ironic how we're sitting in a market that is 10 times worse than what the market looked like in 2008.
Right now, wow.
Can you believe it?
No, I mean, no. Honestly, I want to see these. I want to hear these numbers because it's almost until you actually hear them. If you tell me that, I just wouldn't expect that.
Okay, so you'll see here inventory of homes for sale by price range. At the lowest of 250,000, right, and below, you see a decrease by 26.3%. There's only 19, there were only 19 homes listed for sale in March 2025 versus 14 homes for sale in last month's inventory. What you'll see, the peak of the market right now are all in the range between 750 and $1 million, right? So those are still your single family detached homes. 750, those are still townhomes as well, but you do still see a decrease. So last year, numbers were 1,221 properties for sale. Now this year, you see a decrease, and the new number is 1,028 properties for sale. So it went down. But if you just take a look at this, Ruben, all of the gray bars are last year's numbers, and then all of the red bars are this year's numbers.
Okay.
So as you can see, we've had more inventory last year to what we have today.
Yeah.
And if you go back all the way to 2008, I have a special graph we'll present here. This shows that 2008, I believe, I don't want to say I believe because I really need to take a look at my graph. But here in our graph in 2008, we had 2,000 homes less from 16 years ago.
So right now we have less homes in 2008?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the market slowed down a lot, right? With higher interest rates, less people want to sell because they want to retain the lower interest rates. And really what I've seen is that people are selling this because they have to sell. You divorce, they're being transferred, and there's no option. They have to list the market for sale. But we haven't seen people wanting to sell because they don't want to let go of their lower interest rates. When you have a 2.5%, 3%, 4% rate, and you're being offered, at one point we had 7% rates. Can you guys believe that? 7.25%. And I've talked to people that purchased in the 90s. They're like, oh yeah, we had 11% or 12%. And I'm like, I can't even imagine those rates. But at 7.5%, 7.25%, when we're in the sevens, I mean, we were all like panicking because we slowed down. We didn't have loan applications. People weren't interested in getting pre-qualified. And as the market settled and it got smart, the market got really smart because it started doing the 2-year, 3-year buy downs. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, rates are not going to change very much. Let's rewire the market and figure out how to make it work so we can get buyers motivated. And that's when we started seeing the 3-year, the 2-year, and the 1-year buy down. And God, that helped a lot. I mean, we put a lot of people into those programs. And because of those programs, they had lower payments for the first 24 months. And then the market shifted and we started seeing, I mean, we got as low as 5.25% on a VA loan just 2 months ago, right? After now what's going on with the Iran war, we're in the 6s. VA loans are in the high 5s, low 6s. But this buy down was really what saved us and why we saw a lot more people enter the market. But it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people are really thinking about holding right now because of rates instead of listing. So the fact that we have less listings, it makes sense.
Yes, and I do have clients who are doctors, attorneys, who are professionals. I just sat down with them last week, and they were telling me, Angelica, you know, it doesn't make sense to buy in this market when I have a 2% interest rate.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to sell? So you're exactly right, Ruben. The only people who are selling their properties right now is because they have no other choice.
Right.
They either need the money. Actually, that's actually the only reason, is because they need the money.
Right.
So if you are in a financial hardship right now, you're probably falling behind in the economy for whatever the case may be. Maybe if you had a solution to where you don't want to sell and you still want to stay in your home, give us a call. We have other strategies, creative ways to financially help you. And the only way to find out is by giving us a call.
Yeah, by setting up an appointment so we can meet with you and actually go through your scenario, right? Because
Yes.
there's no two like scenarios. Everybody's very specific, and until we know what's going on with you, we can't really give you advice. I mean, we give general advice here of what's going on in the market, but not personal advice, because we really, it's part of how we work. We really want to connect with our clients. We want to get to know where they're at and where they want to be, so that we can really understand and provide solutions for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you are a homeowner and you're thinking to yourself, man, I just cannot afford my mortgage, I am upside down, and you don't want to hurt your credit, because if you fall into pre-foreclosure, or if you get into a foreclosure, that's going to stay on your record for a total of 7 years at least, until it falls off, which is second to filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And if you have a bankruptcy, I believe it takes 13 years until it finally falls off your
Yes.
record. So if you're trying to avoid that type of situation and you're really trying to find other solutions to help you, give us a call today. We're more than happy to help you as you continue to trust us along your real estate journey.
I like that.
Thank you, everyone, and happy Wednesday.